So this week's weekend preview is highlighted by the Alabama Stakes, which will be run on Saturday at Saratoga, one of the most historic Grade Ones, if not the most historic Grade One, outside of the Kentucky Oaks. For 3-year-old fillies, we're going to get the rematch of Nest and Secret Oath. It looks like now Nest absolutely dusted her in the CCA Oaks, but Secret Oath is the Oaks winner. And I think that she'll have a better showing this time around. And hopefully we get one or two more horses. And it's not a 4-horse field, but I'm not going to hold my breath on that one. Speaking of short fields, we have the festival this week at York. We have the Juddmonte International coming up in about 40 minutes. Baid, who is maybe the best horse in the world, at least on turf, undefeated, just keeps going and going. Has a really tough task, I think, in the Juddmonte International coming up. And then tomorrow, we've got the Yorkshire Oaks at York as well. Alpinista is the horse that I would keep an eye on there. She looked incredible last time when she won at Royal Ascot. So she's a really nice horse. So we got some stuff going on over the pond. But like John was saying to me before off the air, it's not just America that has problems with short fields. A lot of these Group 1 races overseas, we were seeing 5, 6, maybe 7 horses. Now, obviously, they have overall they have a much bigger average field size than we do. But in the top level racing in Europe, I think there's a lot of similar problems to America in terms of the graded stakes fields. But back over here, the Alabama is the big race. We also have the Del Mar Oaks, which we'll talk about after the break. We get the Lake Placid at Saratoga and the Smart and Fancy, which I just mentioned, and the XBTV bit. Any thoughts from you guys on the Alabama?
Yeah, it looks like there's going to be 5 in there, Joe, and we'll know later on today. Nest, Secret Oath, Gerrymander, Nostalgia, and Goddess of Fire. It's a race. One of the good things about Saratoga so far is, there's a lot of races that included, showdowns or the best of the best going against one another. Well, I guess you could say you got that in the Alabama as well with Nest and Secret Oath. But is there any, from the standpoint they just talked about, like really looking forward to what happens on the racetrack. To me, Nest thrashed Secret Oath in the Coaching Club. Why? And it doesn't look like any of these other horses are good enough to compete with her. She's going to be 1-5, 2-5, and there's really no reason to expect that she would get beat. The back after she won the Coaching Club, the Connections opened the door a crack about the Travers, and I really wish they would have done that. And that's from a standpoint of wanting there to be, big storylines and big races. If you're going to be 1-5 in a Grade 1 with, I believe it's $600,000 purse, I can see that. That's just too much to give up to be 4-1 or something like that in the Travers. But Nest is a terrific filly, and but I just don't see any reason why this race won't be a carbon copy of what happened in the Coaching Club. Joe, you mentioned a couple other races, but no, on Sunday's the Queen's Plate, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
And looking forward to that. And the favorite is going to be a filly named by the name of Mora, who comes off a big win in the Woodbine Oaks. And this is fillies have won the Queen's Plate 37 times in its long history. And she's got to beat a horse by the name of Ron Dore, who won the prep for this up at Woodbine. But, it doesn't mean a whole lot to Americans. But to Canadians, this is their Kentucky Derby, and it's Kentucky Derby Day. So it'll be fun to watch the Queen's Plate on Sunday and Nest win presumably in the Alabama. Then I guess, unfortunately, won't that be her last race before the Breeders' Cup? I don't know that for a fact, but the way things are going and the way Todd Pletcher has campaigned his horses, he did the same thing with Malathaat last year. So, why would she come back and anything in between? I don't think it's going to happen. So we'll see what she does on Saturday.
And there's one more undercard race that I wanted to highlight, and that's the Skidmore, which is for 2-year-olds going 5.5 on the turf. You say, John, why would you care about a listed stake? Well, number one, it's a Saratoga stake, so it does have some interest to us on the East Coast. But also, it's been run 6 times, guys, and 5 of the last 6 winners have all been entries in a Breeders' Cup juvenile race. So it is a legitimate stepping stone, even though it's only a listed stake. It is a legitimate stepping stone for the winners to come out and then run in either the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint, the juvenile turf sprint, I should say, the juvenile turf, or try to transition over to the dirt and run in the overall juvenile. So it is an important race. You got horses like Averly Jane and Golden Pal and Flame Away. They all utilize that race to go from there up into bigger and better things in the Breeders' Cup races.
Well, and thank you to Bill for bringing up the Queen's Plate. I did not mean to slight our Canadian listeners or any Woodbine fans. It's obviously a big race, and we're going to watch it on Sunday. I was scanning the stakes fields and was only looking at the graded stakes. Obviously, the Queen's Plate, $1 million, but is restricted to Ontario breds. So that's, or is it Canadian? Is it all Canadian?
It's Canadian. I mean, I think 98% of the good horses in Canada are. But if you got a good Saskatchewan bred, bring them on down. They'll let them run in the Queen's Plate.
Exactly. We'll keep an eye on that as well. We're gonna get to the rest of the races that we're looking forward to this weekend after this break from Three Chimneys. Three Chimneys, outstanding young sire Gunrunner, has several maidens to watch out for this week, including Outperform, who runs on Friday at Saratoga for Todd Pletcher and Rapoli Stable. Gunrunner had his latest TDN Rising Star last week with Disarm, who broke his maiden for Steve Asmussen and Ron Winchell at Saratoga last Saturday. Gunrunner now has 5 TDN Rising Stars, and his list of Grade 1 winners already includes Champion Echo Zulu, Cyberknife, Early Voting, Taba, and recent Amsterdam Stakes winner. That's a Grade 2, but recent Amsterdam Stakes winner, Gunite, was a Grade 1 winner last year. So I was looking at the TDN sire list last week. I have the top sires of 3-year-olds this year. Gunrunner is so far ahead of everybody else, like including Into Mischief. It's just wild to see him in only his second year have those kind of stats for 3-year-olds. He's obviously had a tremendous start to his career. And like I said last week, I think that the stallion farms are going to start snapping up those Grade 1 winners to stand the first really good sons of Gunrunner as well. And it just goes to show you, we talk about there's too many stallions overall in the country. When you get one like Gunrunner and they can kind of reshape the breed in this short amount of time, it really is a special thing. And that's what everybody is looking for. So we'll be right back after this message from Three Chimneys.
Here comes Taba. Taba in the center of the track with good-looking strides. Squares off with Cyberknife. Cyberknife takes the lead. Taba going with him. These two in a thriller. Cyberknife just in front. And Cyberknife has won the TVG.com Haskell over Taba. Jack Christopher finished third. The running time 1 minute 46.24 seconds.
Gunrunner's on top of the world!
Come, dream with us at Three Chimneys.
And it's all Tyler's Tribe to the final furlong. He's putting on another show tonight. He is 8 lengths in front. Now it's 10, now it's 12. Tyler's Tribe pouring it on as they come down to the line. He's going to win by double digits, and he stops the clock in 104.
All right, just to put a little bit of a bow on this week's weekend preview presented by Three Chimneys. We also have the Del Mar Oaks on Saturday, which is a Grade 1 for 3-year-old fillies on the turf. Goes a mile and an eighth. Interesting field. I think we're going to get a pretty big field in that race. That's one of the things I like about those 3-year-old turf filly races. I think in general you get pretty big fields in there. But the horse that I'll have an eye on, and I'm not 1,000% sure that she's starting because I'm just looking at the probables, but Spendorella, who I mentioned at Royal Ascot, ran a big second in the Coronation Stakes behind Alpinista, who's going to be in the Yorkshire Oaks, who I mentioned tomorrow. She's such a nice filly for Graham Motion. I want to see what she can do when she comes back to the States, because he had Sharing, who I was a big fan of, win the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies, then go over and run second in the Coronation, but she never quite got back to that top form when she came back to America. So I'm going to be interested to see what Spendorella does if we do indeed see her on Saturday. And then, like I said, we got the Lake Placid as well. Guys, do we need 2 3-year-old filly turf stakes on the same day? Like, I get that they're across the country from each other, but like, can we have some kind of coordination here that we don't have these overlapping races in the exact same day on the calendar? But the Lake Placid usually does get a pretty good field at Saratoga, so we'll keep an eye on that. And also, we got the Island at Monmouth, which, that's one of those races I feel like you could upgrade, honestly. All the horses that have won it over the years and that have been in it, I'm not sure who's going to be in this year's field, but it's been stuck at a Grade 3 for a while. So even though, I think overall we should be downgrading stakes, Island's one of those that I think produces some good horses. Maybe you can make the argument for a Grade 2. So Saratoga this Saturday, the Alabama Lake Placid, obviously the international action going on at York today and the rest of the week, and then the Del Mar Oaks, which is a Grade 1 on Saturday. Stuff to keep an eye on.